Ah, can you hear me now? Testing 1, 2, 3, should be okay now. Modern technology, got to plug it in. Okay, good, sounds good. Yeah, that's how he slapped me. I had a profit target in, well, we know I had my first profit target in at 110.30 in dollar yen. Second profit target was at 110.70. I have been doing other stuff today. I've been watching the chat and keeping an eye, but not really in front of the screens. Well, I've basically seen it with a 80 pip rally or move in my favour. I've taken, it's not something I generally do, to be honest, but I've taken, I hit the take profit now, or I sold, exited the trade 3 or 4 pips below where my target was. 4 pips below where my target was. I don't normally do that. Now, I don't mind doing it. I mean, it's rolled over actually now, so it's working out quite nicely. But you know, I like to keep my profit targets in. It's one of the reasons why I don't necessarily screen watch every time I have a trade on. You know, I mean, I know a lot of you do that. I mean, and I can't tell you not to because it's your own life and what have you. But you know, I don't watch every tick of price action when I'm in a trade. Generally, I'll put the trade on, I'll put the stop loss in, I'll put the take profit target in, and generally I'll look at other stuff, or I'm not looking at there's 4 or 5 screens here all the time. I'm not scanning around. I'll have my trades on and sort of tend to forget about them. Always with take profit targets and stop loss levels in there. So I did take profits early there. No problem with that. But I encourage you not to start screen watching too much, because then you do start taking profits too early, especially if you've had a losing period and you see a profit come in, you sort of like grab that profit prematurely, and really you should have let it run. Right, so what's happening at the moment? We are seeing a bit of an odd afternoon in terms of where we've been since our lunchtime stream. Lunchtime stream, we were languishing below the 92 handle in dollar index. Okay, so what is it? 4 hours ago, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we were basically down just ahead of here. We've just spurted through. I mean, it's big momentous move to the upside. It's there's no real catalyst for it today, I don't think. PPI numbers came in, which were 130, which were lower than expected. No big shock horrors there. Everything seems to be coming in a little bit lower, little soft inflation numbers. It's produced a price index. I mean, it's not the biggest inflation number, but it always precedes Thursday's CPI number, which is tomorrow, of course. And tomorrow is going to be the big day in terms of clarity. Clarity in terms of, are we going to be able to see a potential hike later on in the year? And of course, we've got the UK as well. There's definitely a change in sentiment. I mean, there's been a lot of dollar selling out there over the last few weeks. Well, since January, quite frankly. But there's been a lot of selling pressure in the dollar. A lot of markets have got themselves short here. But there's a definite shift in tone, a shift in sentiment, I should think. Okay, this is now the 1, 2, 3, 4th day. We've seen higher prices in dollar on the index. It's up 150 points on the index. It's quite a big move. That's about 2%. I would have thought something like that. 2% move in dollar in 3 days. Trump's talking about going around now, talking about getting the tax reform out, there's a change of mood. It certainly is helping dollar yen trades, and we're seeing a pullback in euro dollar from the highs of 120 and above. So we're definitely seeing a change in sentiment. Apart from the dollar yen, where I am now, and we are coming back down, 48. Nice little sell at 110.66 in the end. So we are definitely seeing a. Hang on a second. I've just got a pending order in. No, not close. I thought it was about to be getting close. Now I've got a pending order to sell pound dollar at 132.40, and selling euro dollar at 19.05. Okay, they're both away. Sorry about that. Right. So let's just have a look at where we are in dollar yen. I think J Money was putting a little challenge out there to us in the room earlier, where we're going to close the end of New York tonight. I think I put in at 1085. I almost stand by that. I think this is a bit of a pullback. If we pull back in, pull back in much lower from here, there's going to be some buyers coming in, unless I've missed some catalyst, which I don't think I have. And why am I looking at my other news feed? I can just look at our own news feed now, can't I? Which is very fast. Global news feed. Yeah, so this is very fast. I don't know if you watch this, but just digressing here. But global news feed, financial news stream, very fast information coming out of here. So it's worth having that on your screen as well. You don't need to go anywhere else. So keep that up. No, it doesn't look as though I've missed anything at the moment. We're seeing a bit of a pullback in dollar yen. This could potentially be a bit of a buying opportunity. We pull back there to when did that pull back down to 34, 110.34? Is that in the last 10 minutes? Did I miss something there? Has let me check another broker platform a sec. Excuse me. 110.38 on that platform. Oh, I didn't see that. Yeah, we have had a sharp snapback in. Yeah, it was a good set at the time, Jenny. Yeah, a bit of a. I just took profits 4 pips early. 66, I think it was. And it looks as though it did fall back down. Where did it fall back down to? Let's just get rid of some of these fibs to make it clearer for you. Okay, so where did we pull back down to? I don't know. Let's have a look here. From the high down to the low. Okay, gives me an entry at 46. Dipped below and went down to 36. I don't know how much volume went through there at the moment. I don't know. I think the dollar yen. I still believe my my bias for that. I still think we're going to close higher than we are today, where we are at the moment on this. I for the fun of it, I put in 110.85. Not someone else is 110.65. Buying pullbacks in here still works for me at the moment, ahead of the numbers tomorrow. I'm not expecting big numbers tomorrow, but anything in line, could be construed as positive data out of the US. So, and then of course we've got all important retail sales out on Friday. So a couple of days worth of good data. These are big numbers. The US, we really look at jobs, non-farm payroll, CPI, retail sales are the main. I actually quite like housing starts, but that's not necessarily a big mover. But we're seeing some some decent numbers later on in the week. Let's see how they materialise to see if this dollar rally that we're seeing at the moment is going to be sustained. If it's not sustained, then of course we're going to be dipping below 92 again on the index and back down to 91.50. At the moment, when you're seeing stocks are pushing, I should think. Let's have a look. Yeah, stocks are pushing up again. So yeah, this is stock market going again, as we said earlier. Just can't keep this down. Stock market's going up. That's the Dow Jones, S&Ps, all-time highs again today. S&P. So stocks are going. It's putting yen under pressure. Buying dollar against yen in this environment has got to be the only way to play it. Now, of course, if they start missile tests again, then you might see a bit of a flight to safety come in again. So don't be alarmed if you see a snapback at some point when the geopolitical concerns come back to the forefront. But at the moment, the only way I think I can play this currency market at the moment is buying the strength of the US dollar short term over the weakness of the yen. This is the 1 hour. Okay, this is the British pound, the white line on the 1 hour. On the 4 hour, it's coming back from its strongest currency. It's now dipping below. Still a strong currency on the 4 hour, so it's not running to the exits there yet. Of course, MPC tomorrow. So what will be interesting there is the sway of voting. So there's 9 voters. The market's going for 7 and 2, basically means 7 being no change on rates, 2 dissenters, 2 going for a rate hike. I know there's one of us that thinks that we will have a rate hike at some point. The only real argument, as far as I can see, for a rate hike, certainly when you've got lagging average earnings that we saw early today, good unemployment numbers, but wage growth is still lagging. The only reason why I would think that they could possibly justify putting up rates at this moment in time with lagging retail sales as well is the fact that that they did the Brexit hike last year, which was basically to calm markets down. If they want to reverse that 0.25%, you can almost justify that. But in terms of starting the interest rate cycle to the upside, I think it would be catastrophic to start doing that at the moment with the fragile state of the economy. Certainly when you look at retail sales and average earnings. Waiting for news tomorrow, so that's at 9:30 at London time, that's right. So let's have a look at cable. Cable's coming back. I'm not buying cable, I'm not buying this dip at the moment. We've traded through the 50% level. Okay, so just taking a few of these off now again. Let's just clear the screens up for you, for me as well. This is not my main trading screen, by the way. This is my streaming screen. So yeah, I mean, I'm not, I'm not buying this. I've got a pending sell order at 132.42. Okay, it's unlikely to get back up there at the moment. 132.42 was, at the time of putting it in, was basically where was it from? It was basically from there to where we were low at the time. I think it was there, around there. Okay, so any bouncing cable, I would be more inclined to be selling into it at the moment. Any bouncing cable, any bouncing cable, I'd be selling into it around the 132.40 level. Also coincides with the base of this move to the upside. Okay, but if we get that trade off, we'll be getting near it. I'll be shouting out to you later. But that's what I'm looking to trade at the moment. I'm not going to be getting, quite frankly, it's only a small position. It's only 0.4 of a lot. On my other account, it's so just less than half a lot.
On the Bank of England, bottom of the hour, we are expecting some comments from John Cunliffe. He's the Deputy Governor for Financial Stability. He doesn't vote on monetary policy notes. He'll be giving an interview to Sky News at 18:30 UK time. Just on that note, be aware tomorrow we do have the Bank of England policy meeting. There's a preview and a research suite.
So we've got a Bank of England speaker coming on in about 15 minutes. He's a non-voter. It might move the markets. I hadn't even known it was coming out, quite frankly. So I didn't know it was going to happen. So I might have, so I don't know if it's significant or not, that chap speaking. We'll see. The squawk shouting at me, so I'll keep an eye on it. So still selling into if this sterling bounces at the moment. When we're trading it below these moving averages, it gives me the indication that I can only sell it. I want to go with the trend. I don't want to go against the trend. That's for the end of day trading setups that we do. There's swing trading. That's like 200 or 300 pip moves we're looking for. But in intraday, when I'm looking at trying to nick 30, 50, 80 pips out of the market, I'm going with the general trend. 4 hour now, we're sort of just coming down part in the middle of the trading of the ranges. We've got to play it to the downside at the moment. Right, let's have a quick look at the while I'm on the majors. Let's have a quick look at the dollar against the other majors, against Australian dollar, broken through 80. Okay, we've had some. How many days did we spend above there? We spent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days above the all-important 80. Now drifting lower. as the markets beginning themselves long US dollar. Don't get me wrong, I'm not filling my boots of US dollar at the moment. I'm just mindful of that is the trend that certainly is in the markets at the moment. I don't want to stand in front of it, but I'm not necessarily going to be filling my boots. Yep, I'm quite happy to buy pullbacks in dollar yen. I'm quite happy to sell into any pound dollar pullback, but I'm not going to be filling my boots at the moment. It's not a trend changing thing for me at the moment. I want to see how the data pans out over the next couple of days and see if this is sustainable or not. But at the moment, you know, that's what happened. It's the dollar has moved against some key levels on the major currencies, against the Aussie, against the Canadian, broken through 80. You know, if you're looking to trade this, don't force trades. But if you are, then that to me, you know, is you know, I mean, this is yeah, the 50% move of that pulls you back into basically 80, the figure. So 15 pip bounce. You might trade up to 80.05, something like that, selling into it. But that's just what the charts are showing. It's not something I'm necessarily going to be actively getting involved in at the moment. We do have a let's look at CAD, dollar CAD. So dollar CAD broken out of this level now, firmly above the support zone, coming back into possibly looking up to test the 122.50 area again. So 122.40 really is the level that the markets are going to be looking at. Okay, so it's just about 40 pips to the upside. Yeah. If it continues, then of course, you know, 25 pip stop, 40 pip take profit target, 1-to-1. Just a quick look at the trade idea, and then I'll call it a day. As I say, it's not a big active day. We've got a trade idea out there still running. I know I've got the private messages coming at me, and it's in the Aussie CAD. I don't think I could have picked a worse non-moving pair at the moment. We've been offside. We're now in the green from this trade idea was from Monday, I think. So now in the green finally. I'm not getting too excited about it. Quite frankly, it's 50% from, you know, take profit or stop loss, and you know, it can go either way. I am, you know, I don't like flicking coins. I prefer to have a weighted coin. My weight on this coin would be to the downside still. So I'm happy to be in the trade, but I don't think I haven't got the full commitment behind it. But that doesn't mean I'm going to get out of the position. I'll let it do what it has to do. So there we are. So a bit of a dull afternoon, apart from this big rally we've just seen in dollar in the last hour or so. Can't really give you too much more of an insight. If you're looking to get into dollar yen, you know, a pullback. I mean, a pullback here is not at a bad level. You know, pullback here to where we are now at the 50% of that move. Okay, so from the breakout from the top, from last night's, from Friday's, beg your pardon, from Tuesday's high where we opened in Asia, that was the top of Asia, burst through up to 110.70, 68. Why didn't I get taken out at 70 then? 68 actually, 68, yeah. And we've pulled back into this level, 50%. Okay, I've just gone long again in dollar yen on my trading account. On 110, I'm just going to put my stop in there. My stop's coming in at 110.12. Right. Okay. So that's really all I've got to say at the moment. A bit of a quiet afternoon. Bit of a quiet Forex London wrap. We'll see how we go. If I might J Money, then are you going to buy me a beer? How's that work? If we're right. Any trade ideas? Let's have a look here. 1 hour, 10 minutes ago, Aussie New Zealand short. Greedy, thanks for that. Let's have a look at the Aussie New Zealand short. Simple short off the double top. We'll watch the RSI for bearish patterns to jump on this. Okay. It's the RSI. Can't really see it on the screen here what the RSI is showing. Bounce of a double top. Short entry 1080. Stop loss 1140. So you've got a 60 pip stop. And you've got a 90 pip take profit target. So that's a good risk reward like that. Richard, what are we up to, Richard? Short gold on the 4 hour. Look to cut losses if you see 2 bullish candles against you. You should maybe come down to the MACD bearish at 38.2 retracement. Okay. Stocks are pushing, gold coming off. I suppose this is making money. What's gold doing at the moment? It's got to be coming down, I should think. 1321. Oh, having a bounce just as I've come online. Bounced literally when I came online at 1321, so you're just slightly offside. Your stops at 1331, so you've got plenty of room for your stop. What's the analysis? Okay, not quite sure what the analysis is, Richard, but short gold in the 4 hour to cut losses. Okay. I think we had a good one from you yesterday. That's not a bad one. I just don't quite understand the entry. Arjit. It's a daily chart. It's broken the trend line, holding above, and broken the 61.8 fib retracement. Okay. I don't know if these fibs are drawn correctly. This is your starting point. Oh, I've seen. Yeah, okay. Beg your pardon. Yeah, 61%. Pull back from there. Okay, I thought you were taking it from this level here. Okay, so you've got a it's broken the trend line and holding above the 61% retracement. Looking for 50% pullback. Okay, so looking for it to move up to here. Okay, good. Pounds under, bit of pressure. Good luck with that. Oh, yeah, I think we discussed that one earlier, didn't we? So thanks for that. Okay, keep the trade ideas coming. It's always good to review them. I look at them all, and Aussie CAD. I'm short Aussie CAD. To answer your question, do you want no blot or what? We're short Aussie CAD still. Nope, not removing that. Still keeping that to the short side. So just running that down D1. no reason to get out of that at the moment. Okay. Okay, folks. I'll be on tonight for the end of day swing trade naked strategy search. 10 p.m. London time, 5 p.m. New York time. So do join me for that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out the Trading Academy to the left of the screen. Check out module, well, check them all out. Some good stuff in there. Things about expectancy and you know, what your broker's charging you and so forth. There's lots of stuff going on in there, so do check that out. And of course the strategy as well, so you know what I'm talking about when you come on tonight. We were close to having some setups yesterday. Didn't quite get there, but we'll talk about that tonight when we come back on. And if you're not back on tonight, then I'll see you tomorrow. Of course, big fun day, Super Thursday tomorrow with US data and of course MPC, and of course we've got Swiss National Bank as well out with their policy decision as well. Let's just see how much they can talk down their currency again. Right, I'll leave it there. Speak to you later, guys. Have a good evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Good luck.